welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome into Studio B here in the CHGO offices of the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. We are joining you from Studio B after a 4-0 victory. The White Sox defeat the evil empire of the Los Angeles Dodgers and improve to 26-27 on the year. They win 4-0 on the backs of Michael Kopech. We'll say Jake Berger, always Danny Mendick, and the usual suspects are in there as well. But a team victory tonight, Herb.
Oh, it's great to see. I mean, early in the game, we were talking early in the pregame about AI-created Mitch White and how the White Sox should absolutely torch this guy. And he went like 4 perfect innings before the White Sox ever got to him. It was a Jose Abreu single that broke up his perfect / no-hitter. And then the White Sox started doing things in the 6th inning. It was good to see. It was putting hits on top of hits, on top of hits, on top of hits. Started off with our guy, Alan Lorenz Pollock, getting the job done for a guy who struggled all game long and struggled mostly all year long in Gavin Sheets. But we all know what the real story is.
Well, we all know what the real story is. Just real quick, though, I mean, A.J. Pollock coming in, pitch hit, doing some dirty work against his old teammate, David Price. You know, that's very good to see. The real story, though, is Michael Kopech. The fact that this man is just coming into any big game scenario and coming in and just absolutely dominating is something I definitely did not expect. He was great against the Rays. He was great against the Yankees. He was great against the Yankees. He was great against the Dodgers. The only bad start he's had this year is against the Blue Jays, and this is one hell of a way to bounce back from that one, Herb, huh?
And I call that an anomaly because that was 9 days of rest, which is not what you're supposed to get. And, truth be told, he was getting that rest because Dylan Cease couldn't pitch in Toronto, so he would have been on his regular rest on the Sunday after he pitched in Yankee Stadium. But he pitched versus the Yankees, and then he would have pitched versus the Cubs, as you said. Instead, Cease had to pitch because he couldn't pitch in Toronto. So that throw that Toronto game away. He wasn't on his regular rest. That would have been a 7-day rest. This was 6 days, and you saw the results. Whenever it's a big-time guy, he's going to show up and give you a big-time performance. I was scared. Look at that damn lineup. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teddy Turner, Will Smith, Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger to start off with. That's tough. And he said, who? Bums now.
He struck out Mookie Betts twice.
Yeah.
Just to make sure in the first time around. I mean, it was fantastic to see from Michael Kopech. We got a lot of people watching us right now. I want to give a shout out to Jake. He's saying, I'm not the reason this mini-week win streak started, but I did drive from Miami to Tampa for the game on Saturday despite our trash record and a tropical storm. And Jake obviously brought them good luck. Sox improved their win streak to 3 games.
Yes, they did, and we appreciate you, Jake. Whatever is necessary. If it's Jake driving from Miami to Tampa, that is a horrible drive because you're leaving a good city to a horrible city.
And you're going across the Everglades.
Yeah, or it's the Swamp Angel over here, Sean Anderson, who's like, you know what? I'm going to take the sacrifice. I'm going to go up to Wisconsin, a worse state than Illinois. I'm going to go through the worst parts of Illinois and get this picture of the Swamp Angel Road and take a picture under it. And do it for you, White Sox fans. And our guy Eli Stein's here, waking up early in the morning out there in Israel, just so he can celebrate the White Sox victory. Good job, Eli. Whatever you guys need to do to get the White Sox to the promised land, do it. And our guy KPW is still in the house, even though he embarrassed us with his Toronto Blue Jays. Good luck to you. I hope we got your Toronto Blue Jays right for they kept on rolling. I think they had a 5-game winning streak coming into that White Sox series, had an 8-game after they left, and KPW, you're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome, KPW. Eli Stein watching when it's 6:12 out in Israel, and blank name saying Dodgers hitters look like they've never seen a fastball like Kopech's before. It truly felt like that was the case. It was just magnificent to watch Michael Kopech and his fastball work. You just see the lack of rise on that pitch, and Vinnie was talking about it, what Dylan Cease said. You're playing catch with Michael Kopech. It feels like the ball's just going to hit you in the nose with the way that it rises up. up or gives that rising effect. We call that the Magnus effect in baseball with physics. Shout out to Foolish Baseball, who put together a great video on Corbin Burns and why he's so effective. And part of that reason is the fact that you get all this great spin working in tandem. And here we go. You see Michael Kopech and the rise and what he does against that 1 through 9. I mean, Gavin Lux was their 9th hitter and gave him a really tough at bat. First time he saw him, Kopech throws 4 balls to him, and that was really the only trouble that Kopech got himself into. So real nice to see from Kopech today. And the other thing the chat's talking about, Yankees are up 10-4 on the Twins in the 8th. Cleveland's also losing right now to Texas after they won game 1 of a doubleheader. So people are feeling good. One question asked, are the White Sox still in it, Herb? Can the White Sox turn this thing around? We've been talking about it, right? We've been saying, hey, there's no reason to be all doom and gloom, even though they're X amount of games under 500. A night like tonight shows you why you really shouldn't give up hope. The pitching's really damn good.
Wayne and Luis Butt Cheeks. I'm joking, of course. I love Wisconsin. I was just giving you a little shit there. Yes.
They could be a little more diverse with their food. All right. That's the one thing I will say about Wisconsin.
You don't like cheese?
It's very good. The cheese is very good. It's very, very good up there. The meat is very, very good. But a lot of American cuisine establishments up there. All right. A lot of American cuisine.
They like what they like.
They really do.
And by the way, as you pointed out, Cleveland beat the Texas Rangers in game 1, 6-3. And then Texas beat the Cleveland Indians, Guardians, damn it, 6-3 in game 2. And guess what? That sumbitch Marcus Semion's getting hot. 3 home runs in the doubleheader. He had 7 hits in the doubleheader. And they're coming to Chicago this weekend. Hopefully we can douse him off. But this victory, mercy. Just to have Michael Kopech, 13 swings and misses on his pitches, throwing fastballs, sliders, curveballs. I mean, the man is an outstanding pitcher. I did not expect this. I don't know if anybody else out there expected that Michael Kopech would be a sub-2 ERA guy, and versus the best teams he'll face, he'll dominate them. I know Sean has a graphic that he'll show you a little later, but he dominates the best teams and only gives up 1 hit. And the 1 hit he gave up was a pretty good hit, but that was it.
Right.
There was nothing else that was like, okay, that could have been a hit, but a great defensive play stopped it. The man is just electric out there. Those Dodgers batters, and you heard Steve Stone, and tip of the cap to Steve for his 40 years in broadcasting. He says, sometimes when you get a guy 2-0, those guys are licking their chops and they're ready to hit. Versus Michael Kopech, they're not licking their chops. They don't know what's coming, and they can't hit it. Even if it's in a hitter's count, that's how you know how good he was today.
Yeah, I mean, the fastball was just practically unhittable. We saw it in the 6th inning when everything else wasn't as tight as it was, but he has 3 batted balls against the fastball, and it's weak pop-up, and the other one, you talked about it too, like off the bat, it was like, whoa, damn, Freddie Freeman getting that one off the bat, but then it didn't even reach the warning track. And it's just like, that's what that fastball does. The lack of drop on that pitch just makes it so hard to actually square up for hitters. They're expecting it to be in one place, and when it's just a couple inches above where they're expecting it, you get weak contact, and that's exactly what Michael Kopech does so well. And he had the breaking balls working today. Everything was fantastic. And Kevin mentioned a little bit earlier, Kevin Malloy in the comments, mentioning the fact that Kopech's fastball seemed to be moving a little bit more today than it usually does. Horizontal break on his four-seam fastball today was 3 inches above the average. So today the average was 12 on the inches of a horizontal break. Yearly average is 9 for Kopech. So real nice there for Kopech, getting a lot of tail on his fastball today.
And another thing, like you saw in these advantageous accounts for these hitters, yes, the fastball's coming, and so you would think, okay, I'm going to cheat on this pitch. I'm going to make sure I drive it, hit either right up the middle or to left field. It's 99, but you can still catch up to it. You're a Major League Baseball player. They were popping those balls up to the right side of the infield or the right side of to Gavin Sheets, and a couple basket catches by Jose Abreu in foul territory. Don't like him doing that, but apparently that's his thing. They weren't even close to barreling those balls up against Michael Kopech when they knew he was going to be throwing fastballs or in fastball counts. That's how good the pitch was today.
Yeah, the average exit velocity for Michael Kopech's four-seam fastball, 91. Hard hit is 95, and he was throwing it at an average of 96. So it was going out slower than it was coming in, folks. You got an ace. And as long as they are making sure that horse is running straight and he's not stepping over any of his horse feet or whatever, horseshoes, as long as they're making sure that horse isn't getting out of stride there, they got a real winner in Michael Kopech. My God, is he fun to watch. Just absolutely nutty stuff. People were mentioning Steve Stone. You mentioned Steve Stone. Sox win 4-0 on his 40th anniversary of broadcasting.
Hey,
So
look at you.
Look at that. Shout out to Steve Stone. And we didn't hear his final words here, but I guess we can go into Stoney before we go into Kopech, and then we'll be joined by Vinnie Duber here a little bit later. But Stoney, 40 years in broadcasting. You've worked with him a bit at the Score over your time in your professional career, and you've obviously just been in Chicago, and this man's worked a lot of years in Chicago as a broadcaster. What does Steve Stone mean to you?
He means a lot. He means he is the best analyst of sports anywhere, period. He played the game. He knows how to give you what you're seeing in digestible chunks. If you're a person who is just a lay person, and is a famous line for all you kids out there, this is what you want to do. He gives you the education, gives you the entertainment. Even when I was a Cub guy and early in my development, I never really discerned either Cubs or Sox as far as my fandom. I used to watch him all the time. I was like, yeah, this guy really knows what he's doing. I'm learning while I'm being entertained as a child. And then as an adult, I got to meet him, of course, with the Score when he came over after the Cubs did some dumb shit and fired him because Moises Alou and other people were talking. I think Dusty Baker didn't like his commentary. And that's the thing. He's not a guy that is a homer, even though he gets accused of that. And he's not a guy that is a total, off the charts guy. He keeps it right in the middle. He tells you what he's seeing without any filter, without any fluff, and he's good for that. And that's why I love Steve Stone. And the acerbic wit that he has is just awesome. The first time I ever met him was at the Score studio. It's exactly like you see on TV with Jason, just telling jokes, giving good stories. He knows everybody. Everybody knows him. He's a great guy, and I love to have him on when he was on with the Lawrence Holmes Show, because all Lawrence had to do was crack Mike. See, Stone, how you doing? This was a great weekend for the White Sox. 20 minutes later, Lawrence could ask the second question. I mean, those are the guests that you love, that just have good stories and can spin a yarn and keep you interested for the whole time.
Yeah, it's really marvelous watching him work. I know that people get really frustrated with his Twitter presence, and I think rightfully so. I know our guy Zach Hayes at Pine Tar Keyboard was going after Steve Stone over the weekend, and I think rightfully so. But looking at his 40-year career, you go and watch any other team. You go watch any other team. Go to MLB.tv, pick up any of the home broadcasts, the away broadcasts. You will not find a better actual broadcaster than Steve Stone. There's a reason why he was up for the Ford Frick, won the Ford Frick. The guy is really, really good at just explaining baseball to people. I understand that the frustration around him, especially in April, being like, oh, well, enjoy the ride or be bitter. I know I was really annoyed by that one too, because a month later, they're still under 500. But, overall, Steve Stone does a fantastic job just entertaining people and informing people. So congrats to Steve Stone on 40 years of broadcasting. He mentions that Jason has rejuvenated him, and you can definitely tell just that, having someone who has that type of wit and matching that with Jason's wit, really just a lovely pair between those two.
I mean, we all love Hawk Harrison and Stoney.
Yeah.
But you could tell at the end there, he was having a little senioritis, as we all do when we're close to vacation, and he was close to retirement. Probably taking the temperature of the team and letting it affect his broadcast, as Hawk is wont to do. So Stoney,
I'm going to go check on Todd down there.
Exactly. Stoney, you take over. Yes, I'll tell you what. And so that is probably Stoney's the side guy. He'll play the role, whatever role you want him to play. But then he says the words right there: rejuvenated. Jason Benetti's personality, and I've told him this. He has done a great job with this show. I like to call it a show because even when the White Sox are losing, I like to watch the broadcast because the broadcast is awesome. The games sometimes are boring, but those guys will find you a way to be entertained because they understand that the game can be boring. The offense can slow down, but they, as broadcasters, need to keep the audience right there. And that's what Jason and Stoney have done. I kept on the TV every time, even though I was like, oh, this game sucks. Not just because this game, I have to broadcast it after, but those guys are entertaining, and I'm glad that Jason has rejuvenated Steve Stone, and he needs to be the Fort C. Frick Award winner eventually and be in the Hall of Fame like his partner, Hawk Harrelson.
Jason's got time.
Yeah.
Talking about Jason,
no,
right?
I'm talking about Steve Stone.
Oh, weren't they talking to Steve Stone?
He got nominated. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster as yet.
Who can we talk to? We can apparently write letters to
Rick
Hahn. So maybe Rick Hahn can do something about this.
Yes, dear Rick Hahn,
Rick Hahn.
Steve Stone into the Hall of Fame and DFA Josh Harrison.
Please talk to your owner and those PS are really important too.
Yes.
Really emphasize those Josh Harrison parts. If Stoney gets in, he gets in. But if Josh Harrison gets DFA'd, that's all White Sox fans care about right now. But real great to congrats to Steve Stone, and I really did think that he won it. I thought that's what they mentioned, but oh well. And there was a question from I think Jason or Justin if he only called anyone else besides Cubs or Sox. It was with Cubs from 83 to 04. As Herb mentioned, left the Cubs booth, then went to White Sox radio in 07, and then joined the TV in 08, I think. So that was Stoney's career, and he's been doing, he's the only player to play for the Cubs, play for the Sox, broadcast for the Cubs, and broadcast for the Sox. And he's been doing that since 1983. So shout out to Stoney for his long career. All right, let's go into Michael Kopech's day, and let's look at his pitch breakdown because it was a fantastic day for Michael Kopech. The main thing you want to look at right there is the called strikes plus whiff percentage on his fastball. It's at 36%. The league average is 27%, and this is up against the Dodgers. This is up against one of the best teams in baseball. This is up against a disgusting lineup that they threw out here today. He absolutely overpowered them with his fastball. We also see 10 balls put in play. The average exit velocity of that was 91 miles per hour. If he lets that up, there will not be a lot of home runs given up by Michael Kopech, and this was his 10th appearance this year, his 9th, where he did not allow a home run. So Kopech just absolutely having everything working and firing on all cylinders, and love to see a well-rested Michael Kopech out there today. I don't think that we should be too worried because, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, that rest for him between that Blue Jays series and the Yankees series was a little bit weird, but as long as they keep him around 6 days, maybe 7 days, I think that he's going to be pretty damn fine if this is what he's putting out.
Yeah, and it's weird because 68% of his pitches, 67 pitches, were fastballs. This is the major leagues. Just throwing fastballs over the plate. It's like, can you hit it? No, you can't. Cool. Awesome. I'll continue to throw it. Against the Dodgers, 3 times through their lineup, 2.5 times through their lineup? Mm-hmm. So they had a chance to adjust and say, okay, I know what this bitch is bringing. I've been watching the rest of the game. Fastball. No, they couldn't see it the whole game. That is an amazing feat for him. And it's got to feel good. Like, he probably went to sleep after that Toronto game. He's like, that's bullshit. This team is not as – that team can't fuck with me. I'm Michael Kopech. And then went to sleep. It's like, yeah, and woke up. It's like, yeah, I'm Michael Kopech. And he said, yeah, the Dodgers on the schedule. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. They put their pants on one leg at a time like I do, but I put them on 2 legs at a time, and they can't fuck with this 67 fastballs ever. And like threw 27 sliders and only 4 curveballs. The man is just dealing, and you got to give credit to his partner out there. I was like, for Reese McGuire. Mm-hmm. I was like, fine. Trading Zach Collins is the thing I'm looking for. Addition by subtraction. Get Zach Collins out of there. Reese McGuire caught a great game, an awesome game. He understood that Michael was rolling, and they couldn't mess with his fastball. And he only, I think, he got 1 of the strikeouts on a slider, and all the rest of them were on fastball, if I believe correctly. I know they showed the graphic of his first 5 were 5 strikeouts against his fastball, only 1 versus slider. So he's doing most of the damage with his fastball, and it's really hard to do. Phil Collins, he's not Phil Collins. He didn't know who Phil Collins is. Robert.
Phil Collins is a little rough because Phil Collins has no hair. So, I have some hair. The John Lennon thing, I little, understood a little bit more. Felt like that was a little bit of more imagined. I feel like Vinny's probably going to say something about the shades that just feels very Vinny-ian to be like, hey, John Lennon. Imagine that,
Wow. I don't know what those glasses give me. They give me a Sean Lake Life. That's what they are.
They're giving
Sean Lake Life, Swamp Angel Anderson. That's what he is.
Kopech today, he had 5. I like that description, by the way. 5 strikeouts on his 4-seam fastball. 3
on his slider.
So that's the Michael Kopech day for him, and it was all working for him. Looked fantastic. 62 strikes on 98 pitches. 10 first pitch strikes out of 20. So really no complaints there. That was a fantastic game by Kopech.
And I was wondering if he would even get a chance to pitch the 6th inning, because he was at time at 85 pitches, not laboring, but they want to watch his pitch count, want to watch everything that he's doing. And I was like, he's got probably like 15 pitches to work with, because, when you get to that 100 pitch mark, people are automatically scared of you, even though you're not showing any signs of fatigue. But the man battled through, and the White Sox came through for him in that bottom of the 6th inning so he can grab the W, because I know we don't care about pitchers' wins, but they do.
Yeah, they do. Anything helps for them getting money. Hey, I led the league in wins, well, that will help win money. Hey, I had the lowest ERA, well, that will help win money. Hey, I had the most infield pop-ups, that will help get money. Any stat they'll take, they will absolutely take that.
And to whiteboard this for the people who are listening to the podcast, I know you're not watching on YouTube. Sean is wearing some really dark glasses. We're inside. I don't know if you know. Studio B is inside. But
lake life never ends.
Yeah,
I'm always by the lake.
His future is so bright. He has to wear shades.
Absolutely. The White Sox future is so bright. They'll have to wear shades because they're about to sweep the Dodgers. I'm so confident on it. You should go to PointsBet right now. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app. Use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get two risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting. And it just got even better. Introducing PointsBet's newest feature, the live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. You can combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And if you want more, you can also boost your live same-game parlays. That's my favorite way to win money with PointsBet, boosting my odds on my parlays, my same-game parlays. It's the best feature of PointsBook. Online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And if you want to start your day with a competitive edge, we are here to tell you about Strava CBD coffee. It is a game changer and has helped thousands of people to help improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roasted specialty coffee infused with organic broad spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you. It can help you feel alert and focused without the jitters. It can help you live your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. Plus, introducing CBD into your daily routine can help you enjoy a more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. The best part, Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. And they also offer full spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD format. CHGO listeners can save 25% off their entire order when they use CHGO25. That's 25% off your entire order at Strava, STRAVA, craftcoffee.com when you use code CHGO25 at checkout. If you already love Strava, you can subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. With Strava, you're in control. You can save on your favorite coffees and have them automatically delivered to your home or office on your preferred schedule. Again, use code CHGO25 at checkout at StravaCraftCoffee.com to get 25% off your entire order. Discount coupon valid on non-subscription purchases only. One use per customer. You glad you didn't have to do that today?
Yes, I don't. Like,
I know you're not a big read guy.
Justin, Kershaw and Buehler not pitching this series at all.
Right.
It'll be Goslin tomorrow, and on Thursday is Tyler Anderson.
So you got Goslin versus Cueto. The Dodgers know Cueto is a longtime Giant. He's probably seen him for the past 4 years, I think. Yeah. So a little worried about that matchup. But Tony Gonsolin really having a great career year here, but I don't know if I really buy it. The White Sox probably could get to him. And then Tyler Anderson has been a journeyman for the large part of his career. And it will be Tyler Anderson versus Dylan Cease, right?
Correct.
Yeah, right. So Dylan Cease. So, I mean, what do we got to worry about? I mean, Cueto might get knocked around, but you're facing Tony Gonsolin and Tyler Anderson. Let's eat. Sweep time. It's going to happen.
Just to whiteboard this, Sean last Wednesday before he left was pretty much talking shit. He's like, the Dodgers suck. At the time, he didn't know this necessarily. He knew that he had already gotten beat 2 games out of 3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but the Pirates were currently sweeping them. At the same time, he said the Dodgers are weak. Vinny and I looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? They're the best team in baseball.
Weak.
He said they're weak. They haven't played anybody. When we play them next week, remember, this is in the midst of the White Sox getting their shit handed to them by the Toronto Blue Jays. This man's like, the White Sox are going to sweep them. So this man put it down last Wednesday and said the White Sox will sweep the Dodgers. We're 1 game, 2 to go, Shakes. 1 down, 2 to go, Shakes.
Well, hey, I don't get their Shakes reference. But
somebody will.
Since you mentioned it,
1 down, Shakes.
We can give a shout out to a Shake we know.
Yes,
because Shakia Taylor is adding some hardware to the trophy room because she just found out that she won the John Coates Next Generation Award at the recent Jerry Malloy Negro League Conference in Birmingham. She didn't know what to say. It's an honor and a great privilege to be recognized by people who have made the Negro Leagues their life's work, and Shake has done some fantastic job covering Jackie Robinson Day recently in 2021, and she also did a great job with the Effa Manley piece, a very influential and important black figure in baseball. Shakia Taylor has done fantastic work in the baseball world, and you should be following her at Curly Fro. We had a guest week, second week? Third week? Third week of our show, and Shake was our second guest.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was so good.
And just to give you the reference, it was 1 Down Shakes is from Sleepers. Sleepers. It's a good movie. It's Kevin Bacon, Jason Patrick, Brad Pitt. I forgot who else is in the movie. Pretty great movie. Should watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure.
Robert De Niro's in the movie. Minnie Driver.
I heard about him.
I mean, he's got a major part, but he's a side character. It's a ensemble crew. It's a really good movie. It's about 4 boys who go to a reformatory school and then get sexually assaulted by the guards.
Oh, geez. Sounds light. What's
great though?
What's the title?
Sleepers.
Okay. And is that different than Swingers?
It is much different than Swingers.
All right. Those are 2
both good movies
that I know. And they both seem like completely different vibes. Swingers seems a little bit more fun.
I mean,
maybe a little bit more lighthearted.
Dustin Hoffman also in the movie. Paul corrected. Thank you. They reference the book, The Count of Monte Cristo, a lot of times. So if you ever read that book, it's off of that. It's very, very reminiscent of that book. And then the guy who wrote the story says it was based off a true story, but the people involved say there was no such place and no such things happened. But It's a really good movie.
And Sean, speaking of vibes, Matthew Cortese.
He just
Robert
sent us
De
a
Niro.
super
chat. He said lake life vibes.
No, I mean, we're really important about, when it's the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th inning, and there's 2 outs, and everyone's all worried that the White Sox might not score any runs.
Tough.
The lake life just comes over. The lake life just relaxes you. It just helps you get into a mood where nothing bad can happen. And that's why the White Sox win 4-0, because I didn't panic. The White Sox didn't panic in the 6th inning, and I wasn't panicked during that ad read because I had a feeling that Vinnie Duber was going to join right on time, and he did. You can follow Vinnie Duber on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He is the CHGO White Sox beat reporter, and he is out at Guaranteed Rate Field where he joins us now. Hi, Vinnie.
Hiya, gents. How are you?
Oh, we're great. How you doing?
Do you like his glasses, Vinny?
Not inside, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll at least take them off. I've been called John Lennon already. I've been called Leon the Professional as well. Phil Collins, which was a little bit insulting, but hey, I just let it brush it off my shoulder. How was the locker room? Probably, Tony La Russa's in a good mood after a win, huh?
Absolutely. And so when you don't want to be Phil Collins, if you're going to brush it off your shoulder, you just say that you don't care anymore, right? There you go. So,
nice.
But yes, of course, everybody's in a good mood down there after the White Sox pulled that one off against the Dodgers. Sean, I'm not sure if anybody besides you was predicting such an outcome this evening, but certainly Michael Kopech was fantastic, as you know, and the offense did what it had to. We'll put it that way. How about that?
It seemed like Michael Kopech left the Dodgers in a land of confusion. See what I did there? What did he have to say that was working for him? Because we saw him fill up the strike zone with a lot of fastballs, and the Dodgers could not touch him all night long.
Fill up.
Now, that wasn't good.
I'm a grown.
Well, you said fill up. I don't know.
That's enough.
All right.
Anyway,
Someone take me home.
God damn it. We've done too many. I'm sorry.
Oof. Kopech was great, obviously.
Yes.
I think the thing that you're talking about here is what Tony La Russa said, which is he rises to the occasion. And boy, does he. We've seen him against some first-place teams this year do some awesome things. That being said, he's really been doing this against everybody. He had one bad start last week against Toronto. And other than that, it's been pretty fantastic for Michael Kopech over the course of the season. I asked him, does this kind of thing give you confidence, not just in the moment, obviously, but down the road a bit? And he picked up what I was asking, because he said, yeah, these are the kind of teams they want to face in the playoffs if they're fortunate enough to get there. These are the kind of teams that they hope to be seeing at the end of the season. And to know that you've got a guy that can go out there and dominate one of the best lineups in baseball, as Michael Kopech has now done on multiple occasions, be it the Yankees, be it the Dodgers, that's a big confidence boost for the White Sox and a big confidence boost for him personally.
Absolutely. He talked last outing after Toronto about how frustrating going up against that Toronto lineup was. Did he talk about any mindset today? It felt just like he was very easygoing out there.
Yeah, I think focus was an issue for him maybe in that outing against the Blue Jays, and he said maybe there were a couple moments tonight where he had to, meet that challenge as well, but not many of them. And certainly we saw that he seemed pretty dialed in from the start. And guys, this is Michael Kopech, right? I mean, we've been hearing the hype on this guy for years now, it seems. I mean, from the moment they acquired him and way back in 2016, you'll remember, he was being hyped up as a future top of the rotation arm. Obviously, there's been some delays to that, but he's pitching like it right now, and it couldn't be coming at a better time for the White Sox, obviously, as they try to get this offense going a little bit. They got 4 runs tonight, which I guess is 0.35 runs per game better than they've been doing so far this season. So congratulations, I suppose, there. But it's still not really what we expected to see from these White Sox. That being said, they'll take the 4-0 win. They'll take the 4 runs against the Dodgers team that knows how to pitch pretty well, too. So they'll take it tonight. But the starting pitching, as we've talked about through most of the season, has really been fantastic, and it was the story again tonight.
It's got to feel sweet for A.J. Pollock to come off the bench and do this versus his former teammate and David Price. Did he speak about, or Tony speak about, how that double that he hit to break open the game felt for him?
Yeah, I mean, he did, and I think, AJ's kind of a low-key guy. He said that, yeah, it's good to get that done, and but had to throw that cliche line in there about, oh, baseball's a business, everything, that happens for a reason, la, la, la. So, nothing that you wouldn't expect to hear from AJ or another baseball player, but you'd have to imagine that doing some winning with your old teammates, seeing them again, makes you happy, and maybe gets you a little even more charged up than it would normally.
So Kopech is someone that I'm very interested in. You talked about it. It feels like we've been hearing about him for so long, and it feels like now he has arrived as a starting pitcher. Wondering more about the usage of him, if we have any more knowledge about that. Rest has been something important for Kopech on the day-to-day, but we haven't seen him reach 100 pitches. Almost got there tonight at 98. Any more hints or anything about his usage and the possible boundaries that they might push with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to keep seeing basically what we've been seeing, and that includes some time off between starts that are maybe more than 4 days. And Tony La Russa said, unprompted, he was probably a little rusty against Toronto for not having pitched for so long. And so maybe they make some small tweaks there, some small adjustments, the next time they want to give him a little bit of extra rest between starts. But this is kind of what you're going to see, I think, because they want him to be able to do what he did tonight at the end of October. That's the ideal, right? And obviously they got a long way to go before they can make that happen, but they want to be able to make that happen. And so the rest is going to be a part of that. And whether it is not his ideal situation. He's a guy that wants to have that routine, who wants to go, 5 days between every start, or 4 days between every start if you're, splitting the hairs numbers wise. But so that might not be ideal for him, but it's going to keep happening because they want to be able to have their ideal, which is that against these Dodgers at the end of October.
Even though the numbers, you look at him 1 for 3 with a walk, are not eye popping, but Yoan Moncada, I saw some of the bats he had today. I'm encouraged with what I saw because only one right fielder is going to catch that ball that he hit late in the game, and that's Mookie Betts that just happened to pick the ball off pretty much off the ground. Was he encouraged? Was Tony encouraged by his at-bats today? Because I saw a better focus out of him and better contact out of him today.
Yeah, I think in general, especially from some of these guys who have really been struggling, I think a lot of White Sox, folks, whether it's Rick Hahn or Tony La Russa, are liking what they see. They're seeing a little bit here of a breakthrough, and I'm not sure if it's going to keep going this way. Who knows? I'm not sure if it's going to, if that Jake Berger home run, Herb, like we talked about all weekend, is going to be the spark that really turns everything around for these guys. But I think they have to grab on to some minimal progress at this point because it's been such a desert for them offensively through the first 2 months of the season. You have Rick Hahn talking, basically offering up the same explanations that he has in weeks past about why he has hope that the White Sox are going to turn this thing around offensively. Well, because they got a lot of talented players who have done this kind of thing before, who have hit before, and who have broken out of slumps before. It's not what fans want to hear, obviously, because it just means more waiting, right? But you can see why they're saying that. Those things that he's saying are not false. That being said, it's going to be interesting to see how much waiting has to be done here, obviously, because you can only wait till a certain point until it's too late. Right now, it's not too late, obviously, and if the White Sox start racking up some wins here, then you're going to see that all that waiting paid off.
The waiting is the hardest part, as Phil Collins once said. You mentioned veterans kind of snapping out of those.
Herb, reach over and smack him.
That's usually, it's usually my job to do the terrible jokes, but Sean's taking over today.
We'll go back because I know some people will call your job the big J. I call it the huge J. Journalism is very important to me. Not Jake Berger, Gavin Sheets, 0 for 2 today. You talked Rick Hahn mentioning that some of the veteran guys will snap out of this easier. Feels like Gavin Sheets is struggling a little bit more than everybody else. 203 batting average on the year. Any talks about what his future may hold? Because he's in there to do damage against right-handers, and going into today, he had a weighted runs created plus of 91. So any thoughts on Gavin Sheets and his bat?
Well, obviously he's there for a reason, right? To bring some lefty pop. And I think until they find an alternative that can, be the lefty pop, they're going to probably need him because that would be something then that would be missing from the team. That being said, you're absolutely right. The production has just not been there at all. To say that he's doing worse than everybody else is not necessarily true because you've got Grandal and Moncada and Harrison all below the Mendoza line. Larry Garcia is there too, I believe. But it's one of those frustrating aspects. And I think the point is that even on a night like tonight, even in a stretch of games, the last few games, when you get something from Jake Berger, a night like tonight when you're getting stuff from many different people, there are so many people in this lineup or on this roster who have struggled so greatly with the bat that it's going to take a little bit more than this to realize that they're turned around or to get them turned around. A team maybe can jump off or use a moment as a ramp like we saw, and we saw it earlier in the season with that game against the Angels where they turned that, failed comeback attempt, but one where they got a lot of runs into a 6-game winning streak. Now they've turned Jake Berger's home run into a meager 3-game winning streak, and who knows where it goes from here. But if they're going to get truly turned around, if they're going to truly be one of the best teams in baseball, if they're truly going to be able to win the World Series, they need to get a lot more than just, a little bit of a spark here and a little bit of improvement here. They need half this lineup to turn it around. And, that's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But, until further notice, Gavin Sheets is a part of that. Gavin Sheets provides the lefty power, and he's going to need to provide that if the White Sox are going to be able to achieve their goals, because you need everything clicking in order to win the World Series. So that's what we're going to be spending the season looking at every problem through that lens, because those are the expectations that they set before the season started.
You spoke to Rick Hahn in the assembled media today. What did he have to say about the returns of Tim Anderson and Eloy Jimenez and Lance Lynn?
So, Eloy obviously has been down in Charlotte for a while now. I think this was the 11th day of his rehab assignment, only played in 6 games in that stretch. But they're pleased with the way he's progressing. I think, he maybe got a couple of bats taken away from him when he had to come out of that first game with the little tug in his leg that he felt on the swing there. But generally, it wasn't a setback or anything like that. And so relatively soon he's got to get his legs under him. There's no exact date yet for his return, but he's on his way. As maddening as that vague statement might be. Lance Lynn probably a little bit more concrete. I think he's starting tomorrow or at some point this week. And then that might be it for him down at Charlotte. I mean, he gets up to about 80 pitches, and his next start might be with the major league team. And I think we've all kind of circled Monday maybe as next Monday as a time that he could be back. And maybe that's what we'll see. Maybe he needs to go one more in Charlotte to get up to 90 or 100 pitches in order to come back. But the White Sox will see. And Rick said it was very possible that perhaps his next start after this one would be with the White Sox. In terms of Tim Anderson, probably looking at a rehab assignment, if all goes well, during the team's next road trip. So that starts next week. Detroit and Houston, they go through there, but Tim might be going on a minor league rehab assignment then. 3 weeks was the original thing that Tony said about when Tim might be back, and it looks like it might be right on that track. Joe Kelly and Vince Velasquez might also be going on rehab assignments around that time, should everything go well.
So would it be crazy to say maybe on like June 22nd when we're having a tailgate for the White Sox and Blue Jays that Tim Anderson might be playing in that game?
Not crazy. Doesn't sound crazy.
All right. Just saying, if people want to come hang out with us in Lot B at 11:30 on June 2nd, tickets are $25. You get a game ticket. You come tailgate with us, and maybe you get to see a returning Tim Anderson. Just saying, maybe it's a possibility if you want to check it out. And you can go to allchgo.com to find the event link there and the URL to buy tickets if you want to come out and hang out at our CHGO White Sox tailgate on June 22nd. All right, Vinny, going back to some of the guys that have struggled, I was surprised to see Yasmani Grandal out of the lineup today after an off day on Monday. Reese McGuire getting the start, did a great job catching Kopech, and came through with a big RBI. But Grandal, what is the update with him? What can White Sox fans expect from Grandal? I'm assuming he'll probably play tomorrow.
Yeah, he's catching tomorrow, according to Tony. I read his absence from the game today, to be quite honest with you, as an opportunity for Jake Berger, who's swinging the bat really well. And that's not what Tony said. Tony said, just part of getting him some rest. And obviously we found out, last week from Daryl Van Schouwen's reporting that, Grandal is not necessarily fully recovered from his knee surgery in the offseason. So could be an explanation for why they've kind of been playing him slowly here in the first half of the season. But I honestly think too, again, this is just the way I read it, that, you're trying to get Jake Berger some at-bats and some opportunity because he's swinging the bat really well. And of course he delivers again tonight with an RBI double.
Yeah, it's great to see Jake Berger perform, and I'm all for him getting more opportunities. Did anyone ask Khan about maybe why Grandal isn't going to the IL? If he is that injured or he is still trying to build up power in his knees, maybe they'd be better off with a Carlos Perez or a Sebi Zavala.
I don't think it's a case of Grandal being injured. I think it's a case of him not being all the way back. And I think those are two different things. You know what I mean? This is not something that has gotten worse since the season started. This is something that has gotten better since the season started, but it doesn't mean that it's all the way better and perfectly ideal quite yet. I think you've seen the White Sox managing it by, catching him as infrequently as they've caught him, which has been a surprise, I think, for everybody watching this team throughout the first half of the season, given that he is the supposed number one catcher on the depth chart. And I think that as the year goes on, once he gets to full strength, you'll probably see him there more frequently. Haven't seen it yet because, as you mentioned, McGuire has been good, and obviously Grandal is struggling with the bat as well. But I think in an ideal world, sometime soon or in the second half before the season's over, Grandal is back to 100% after the offseason surgery and is catching the way a number one catcher would catch.
And this is not a real baseball question, but I've always wondered, like that Thor's hammer, it was awarded to Kendall Graveman for his striking out the side in Tampa. Does he just keep it until somebody else does it, or does it just go into a neutral area?
No, it does not go into a neutral area. It belongs to its holder until until another pitcher is deemed worthy.
Until someone else does it, and it has to be a reliever, right? No starters.
Correct.
All right. Well, I think that's
so. If a position player comes in and strikes out 3, he gets the hammer.
I think he would have to, as my phone moves on me here. I think he would have to get it right. He would be a reliever. It would make sense. Yeah, I don't see that happening, but you never know.
Final thing I got, we did hear from Rick Hahn, and you heard from Rick Hahn. We heard 2 minor league names be mentioned by the GM, them being Lennon Sosa, who is down in Birmingham right now, and then also Yolbert Sanchez, who is currently in Charlotte. Any other details about what Hahn said about those 2?
Yeah, I mean, he basically said that they've put themselves in a position to help the White Sox at some point this season. And, maybe that means September call-up or injury replacement, that could mean that. Or maybe it means, clock's going to tick out, the hourglass is going to run out on somebody eventually here, and the opportunity is going to go to a different guy. I mean, I think I asked Tony La Russa, during the last homestand, or maybe even earlier than that, if there's a guy that's performing in the minor leagues and there's not a guy that's performing here, how long do you wait really in order to make that change? Asked him a variation of that question again today in terms of, maybe a bench player who's already here versus a supposed starter who is struggling. And he basically reiterated that the best player is going to play. So he also said, too, which is important to note, that he believes that in the old back of the baseball card, which I know everybody's real fond of hearing every time we ask about the White Sox struggling hitters. But it's notable from Rick Hahn to say that those guys have really kind of put themselves in a great position to be considered and to help the White Sox later this season.
Absolutely. Y'all good with Vinny?
That's all.
All right, that's all. There you go. You heard it here, folks. Thank you, Vinnie Duber, for joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He is the CHGO White Sox beat reporter. Thank you, Vinny.
Adios, guys.
Adios. Against all odds, he joins us every single time.
I'm glad we got there. We did enough Genesis / Phil Collins songs. And somebody said we were in Studio B. It was good.
Vinnie Duber will always be
Robert Bueller
in our heart, in the studio, and I will be now listening to Studio later on today. Hey, should throw a shout out. Gotta throw a shout out to our people over at OWN, our good friends over at OWN. We love our people over at OWN. It's 100% plant-based. It's a plant-based protein that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do, and all of their products are free of artificial ingredients. They're allergen-friendly. They have no gluten or dairy, and they're easily digestible. I like drinking these protein shakes. I usually don't like drinking protein shakes. I usually don't like eating plant-based stuff, but this mix, this smoothie here goes down well. I like the vanilla flavor. I like the chocolate flavor. I like the salted caramel flavor. I like the strawberry banana flavor. Nice. That was the first one I had. So that's all 4 flavors that I like. It is a very, very good way to have a snack in a plant-based protein way. I really felt full up after I had them. And you kind of talked about this with a different product before on a different White Sox podcast. But, when you're going for a snack, it's very easy to go for a candy bar, or it's very easy to go for a pop. This will fill you up. And if you're looking for something after the gym to recharge, if you're just looking for something to hold you over to dinner, OWN is absolutely a healthy and good way to fill yourself up. I've really enjoyed the products. It is very nice to hear. And the first way I heard about it was from the Chicago Bears quarterback himself, Justin Fields, who follows a plant-based diet. He is also an epileptic like I am, so it's very cool to see him go towards that plant-based diet and have that pay off for him. And part of that is using OWN. OWN and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You can get 20% off your first purchase at liveown.com with code CHGO. You spell OWN OWYN, so you can go to live, LIVE, own, OWYN.com, liveown.com. Use code CHGO20 to join me and Justin Fields to try OWN. It's only what you need. And also, got to mention CHGO.
Yes.
The damn thing. The thing that we do here.
Here.
If you want your podcast, if you want your live shows on every team in Chicago, every single day, we are here for you. We are here for your pregame shows, your postgame shows. The CHGO White Sox pregame and postgame will start at 6:30 tomorrow. The postgame will be after the first out is made. We come to you live from the studio every single night. If you're looking for premium written content by our own Vinnie Duber, you can go to allchgo.com to become a member. When you become a member, you get a free shirt, and luckily we have dope merch for every single team. We also have some great CHGO merch, and I know that there's some t-shirt ideas kicking up as well for some Southsiders. So a lot of fun things in the work for CHGO. You want to become a member. Members also get access to our CHGO Lounge. It's our members only Discord. So if you want to become a part of the community of what we're building here at CHGO, obviously joining our chats here in the live pre and post game shows is important, and you are a part of our community when you do so. But if you want to go that extra little mile, go to allchgo.com and you will get premium written articles, a free shirt when you sign up, and access into our members only Discord. All right, Herb, I want to talk about AI generated Mitch White here, who had a no-hitter going on for what felt like forever.
Yes.
Jose Abreu ends up breaking it up. But let's talk about what Mitch White did today, because Steven said it, you said it, I said it, Vinny didn't say it, but I said it, you said it, Steven said it. This guy didn't look that impressive.
No, not at all. Like, his fastball topped out about 96 miles per hour. Good velocity. But nothing I saw in that fastball was like, okay, I see why people are striking out against Mitch White, AI-generated Mitch White. It looked straight and straight. It had some run, which they were calling a changeup on StatCast. They were calling his 93.7 mile per hour, looked like a sinker, a changeup, and just had run. That's all it had. It might like profile as that, and as an AI, he might be doing things different than a regular pitcher.
Learning.
So StatCast is like, that's a changeup, but why is it 93 and his fastball is 96? There was nothing there. Slider was nice. I mean, of course, you throw sliders to Luis Robert, he's going to flail at a couple of those things. He hasn't learned that as yet. It was good, not great. Nothing that we saw from Matt Brash early in the year. We're like, that's hard to hit. That's really bad. I cannot hit that right there. And that's what he is. He's a replacement. And they say in the broadcast, they're getting Clayton Kershaw back off the IL after this. This will probably put Mitch White in this role that he usually is in, is a relief / an opener role. So there was nothing there. The White Sox made this guy as such. So it was very, very disappointing to see them getting no hit through 4, and then Jose Abreu breaking that up, and then them breaking through eventually in the 6th inning against Phil Bickford, and then Mitch White, who got the loss, I believe.
No, Bickford got the loss.
Bickford got the loss. Sorry, Bickford came in and gave up the booty.
Yes, and David Price
too.
Really blew the doors open
Price
on that
was
one.
wrong.
Price was wrong, bitch. So very shocking that the White Sox today, and this kind of speaks to Mitch White's just kind of but the fact that the White Sox won 4-0 and only drawing 2 walks against the Dodgers, very, very shocking to me, the fact that happened. I would think that the White Sox would want to load up the bases with more runners.
They did load up the bases and just did the White Sox thing where bases loaded, 1 out. We get it out by Reese McGuire, which you will profile in a second. And, of course, automatic out. Josh Harrison got out the next guy. So, yeah, they did that early versus Mitch White and then just didn't get any runs across. It's just frustrating to do this bases loaded thing so many times and be so bad at it.
Right.
Like, at very minimum, you got to get some type of bat on ball if you are Reese McGuire in that at bat. He just took a good look at that ball. It was a little tail to going back into the plate, but it's a close pitch where you have 3-2 count. There's no reason for you to be having the bat on your shoulder right there. So Reese McGuire failed there, but as I said earlier, his catching has been bar none great. That's why he's on the team, and he did get a hit eventually, and I think he drove in a run. No,
he drove in a run.
No, he said, he drove in a run. So he helped his own cause there, but that at bat was not good at all by Reese McGuire when they had the bases loaded with only one out.
Well, it's funny that McGuire did driving in a run because they intentionally walked Moncada to get to Reese McGuire, so he kept the inning alive, which was good to see. Josh Harrison ended the inning, which is just kind of his credo. When's the point that we just give up on Josh Harrison? Because now it's been about 162 games of this guy absolutely stinking. Well, let's go before we get to that. Reese McGuire, that at bat you were talking about, 1 out, bases loaded. We can just see what McGuire did in that at bat versus Mitch White. Just looking on 3-2, it's a fastball. Steve Stone was calling it down the middle. It definitely doesn't get much more of a strike than that. I mean, it's a little bit close to the edge, but there's some separation there between the edge and the plate. So that's a strike as clear as it gets, and I don't understand it. Reese, you have a pitch like that, bases loaded, bat can't be under shoulder.
No, and I understand sometimes if you think a ball is outside the zone, you do not offer it because you're ready to walk, things like that. But no, that ball was in the zone, well in the zone. It's 2 strikes. Put the bat on ball. Strike out, swinging. Strike out Luke Kinney is just, I just get so frustrated, especially with a 3-2 count. And you need to get bat on ball to drive in a run there. So I would have rather him to a GIDP.
You're right.
Because I know the next guy is not going to do a damn thing. And it's way past. We've been past the Josh Harrison thing. His defense has been good, real good. But we didn't pick him up to be a defensive second baseman only. You got to do something with the bat. So there's multiple people down in the minor leagues. There's a guy on the team right now who's playing shortstop who would be much better than what Josh Harrison is doing with the bat. I guarantee you Danny Mendick at the end of the year will not be hitting 176. I guarantee you. And that's what Josh Harrison's hitting right now. I love my mans. I love his high step into second base, but that's few and far between. Right. His revving up the motorcycle, cool. I've seen that 3 times. 2 few and far between. I need to see that at least 20 times a month. At least.
Last 290 plate appearances. Herb, do you want to guess what he is batting? Average.
290 plate appearances. Let's see. So there's some walks in there, some hit by pitches. I think he's probably hitting 220.
227.
Boom.
Not too bad. And that means DFA him. He hasn't hit a home run since August 16th of last year. This man can't hit anymore. I'm sorry. He is fun, and when he gets doubles, it is fun. It feels like he could bring some energy, but you need to be good at baseball to be able to bring that energy. Gavin Sheets sucks the energy out of this lineup when he comes up. Josh Harrison sucks the energy out of this lineup when he comes up. And I understand people don't like Reese McGuire staring and looking at that strike 3, but he at least delivered today. And that's good to see. And if Reese McGuire is the worst hitter on the team, this White Sox team doesn't have any issues. The issue is Reese McGuire's hitting 223, Josh Harrison's hitting $176, Yohan Moncada's hitting $143, Yasmani Grandal can't even get in the lineup. And Alex did mention that Reese McGuire has caught Kopech every single game, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. So mea culpa on that one for not noticing that a little bit earlier. But still, that's the biggest issue, is that Reese McGuire isn't the worst hitting player on this team. That's the expectation for Reese McGuire. Be a great glove, be a bad hitter. Right now, he's not the worst hitter, and that's the issue.
And speaking of Alex Rude, who joins us occasionally in the post-game show, he was on Sons of Harnarchy.
Did a great job.
The last episode, I believe. He was in for Hot Take Tommy. Him and Drunk Sox fan Steve-O did a good job. So go and check that out if you guys haven't already. Alex Rude, he's probably the smartest White Sox fan. He'll tell you exactly what's going down. He knows stuff. He can calculate odds in his head. But Reese McGuire, his position is backup catcher. And as a backup catcher, I don't expect you to give me much offensively. What he's given us already this year as a 223 with a 523 OPS, it's not enough. It's not a lot. But it's a catcher. I don't mind too much. You're catching so well, I can look past your offensive stats. But, you in the individual at bat, I'm fine with it. I mean, in the individual bat versus Mitch White, you need to be a little better. Go a little bit harder there.
Be a little more aggressive.
I just don't want you to be looking at pitches. For Josh Harrison, a second baseman, he got to give me something. Defense is good, but I got to have something on with the bat too, especially if you have other people on the team that could do a more capable job than you are with the bat. Danny Mendick screams out that to me right now. The Sosa kid down in AA is doing that. The Sanchez kid in AAA is doing that. So why is on the team? I don't understand. There's some loyalty to him. The money is already spent. You already DFA'd Dallas. This is what, $5 million? Now it's almost a third of that? Come on. So drop in the bucket. Josh Harrison will find another team. He'll do well somewhere else. There's no reason to have people who are bringing your team down that have no future with this team currently on the team going forward.
He also might not just figure it out. He's at this point of his career where it just might be done for him. Yeah. It's happened before. I mean, there's players who of much better ilk, or I think that's a word, that have done this. I mean, you remember good old Roberto Alomar coming over. I mean, that's a Hall of Fame hitter right there. And then he just came over to the White Sox twice and forgot how to hit. Like, it just happens sometimes with these players. It just kind of stops. And it stopped for Matt Carpenter. He had to go down to AAA and figure that whole thing out all over again. Like, it can happen at any point right now. So, it's difficult. It's frustrating. I see someone, though, saying, like, and it was our guy Dave, our guy Dave, saying,
That's your guy, Dave. You say his name right.
The Madrigal trade was a mistake. Offense from second base is scarce throughout the MLB. Madrigal's got an OPS of 48, OPS plus of 48. He's not good. He's not good at hitting right now, and he's not good defensively.
I don't know if you guys listened to the Locked On Sox podcast when Chris Tannehill and I were doing it last year. I told you this shit. I told you. But I thought one thing that Nick Madrigal could do is hit. He's not hitting anymore. Mm-hmm. And he was bad at fielding. He was bad at base running. I was not impressed when they brought him up. I was like, this is the guy you guys been talking up? This is the 4th overall pick? Come on now. Just trash. I mean, I wish him good luck over there with the Cubs because he does have a tool, a hit tool. What we saw here as the White Sox fans, when we got down 2 strikes, he would find a way to deliver. That has gone away. I don't know if being traded early in his career made him mess up and being hurt as much as he's been over there with the Cubs is messing with his hitting, but he is not the same guy that showed up last year for the White Sox. And I'm glad the White Sox traded him, not as much as Cody Hoyer for Craig Kimbrell. That was a good move. I did not mind it. It didn't work out for either team as yet, but I think it was a good move. So it's fine that he's over there on the north side. I wish that he gets to hitting and become the 3,000 hit guy as he projected himself to be.
Yeah, I don't think that, I'm going to ever feel regret from that Madrigal trade. And people do have to just remember that Craig Kimbrell had an ERA under 0.3 last year. He was used a lot by the Cubs. It just broke down. It wasn't for him. That's another guy, too, that maybe he's just lost it, but we'll figure out. We don't need to rehash this. We'll talk to you as well tomorrow. Johnny Cueto versus Tony Gonsolin. The White Sox should win that. And then we'll talk to you Cease versus Anderson on Thursday. We still got more Dodgers and Sox to talk about with you, but we got to wrap it up here. Got to go to JackSo with the Super Chat. $20 Super Chat from our guy. That's going to go into the boat bank, right? We're living that lake life, and we're adding that to the pot. JackSo, it is small, so yeah. JackSo saying, now can the Sox come back tomorrow and hit against Tony Gonsolin, who is 7-0, and will we beat Tyler Anderson on Thursday, who has a better pitching record than Tony Gonsolin? Also, will we beat the Astros next week in Houston? So JackSo has a lot of questions about beating people. Why don't we just go to the Dodgers first?
Yes, no.
Yeah, I don't think that they will take a series from Houston, especially in Houston, especially with that horrible Little League field that they play in with the Crawford boxes. I really don't think that, the White Sox will win 3 games there, but I've told you this, JackSo, and I'll tell you again. We're living this lake life. We're not fretting, right? We're just taking a relaxed approach. It's June. Summer's just started.
I like how your glasses just fell down right when you said lake life.
Right?
It's perfect. They knew to be in the position they need to be in.
They've been well trained. I said the White Sox are going to sweep. Don't worry. Tony Gonsolin, he's got a great record. He's got a bigger FIP as well. Tyler Anderson, he's got a good record. He's got a bigger FIP. Don't worry. Regression's coming.
Yeah.
Regression's coming. The White Sox are good. The Dodgers are weak. Sweep is coming, boys. Don't worry. Boys and girls, sweep is coming. All right, that's going to do it, though, for the CHGO White Sox podcast. I do want to give a shout-out to one more commenter before we go, saying that CHGO has upgraded their podcast playlist. Really do appreciate the kind words coming from Robert Bueller. CHGO's upgraded my podcast playlist, got me through the shaky sock start. I was missing Herb, and Sean's come a long way from talking to himself in his closet. Best gentleman. We appreciate Robert, and we appreciate all of you fine and lovely people rating, reviewing, chatting with us on these live shows and on our podcast. It's been great to do the CHGO White Sox podcast. And if you do want to become a part of our community, come and be a part of our community at the tailgate on June 22nd. AllCHGO.com should have the link for you to buy tickets on our Eventbrite page, June 22nd, 11:30 a.m. in Lot B. $25 will get you a game ticket, and you can come stop by the tailgate, the CHGO White Sox tailgate. Herb, we're taking a day off to go watch the White Sox. It doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it sounds great. And I don't know if KPW's still in here, we're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. What is it to drive down from Toronto to Chicago? Right? Not that long. Drive your ass down here or fly, I don't care, and come to the tailgate, and we could see your Toronto Blue Jays get swept by the White Sox that day.
Yeah, Tim Anderson's going to be back too. So we got reinforcements coming. At least what, Vinny saying might happen.
And Paul, to end our Phil Collins Genesis thing, says another day in paradise on 6/22.
Absolutely. And Paul corrects an easy lover. White Sox improved to 26-27. They are 4 games back of the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota's 32-25 on the year. They lost today against the Yankees, and they just started a 3-game series against the Yankees. And what they usually do against the Yankees is lose. So, hey, Herb, if the White Sox win 2 more games, does that mean they're going to be 2 games back after the Twins get swept by the Yankees?
Yes, and that'll mean they'll be over 500 too.
Look at that. That's going to be fun. We'll talk to you about that tomorrow. We got the pregame starting at 6:30, so come join Herb and I. You can follow Herb on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. He is the CHGO White Sox community leader. I am Sean Anderson, the host of the CHGO White Sox post-game show and podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. We were joined from Guaranteed Rate Field by Vinnie Duber, the CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. We were produced today by our good old buddy, good old pal, Stephen Nicholas. Thank you, Stephen, for your great work on all of the graphics that I sent you and didn't use today. We want to thank everyone for being in the live chat and helping us out and helping us grow. It's been a blast doing this now for 3 months. I wasn't here on our 3rd month birthday. So shout out to everybody for helping grow CHGO. It's been a blast to work here, and it's been a blast to do all these post-game shows with you. Also, shout out to Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album, Tusk. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and go White Sox.